Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So this video is not going to be entertainment based in the way that I usually do videos. This is actually taking a look at the whole they, them pronoun people out there. And I have a theory because last night we were on the Barroom Podcast, Society Reviews channel, we were discussing Demi Lovato and her rather traumatic past, as well as her now choosing to go back to she, her pronouns and whatnot. And I learned from that podcast last night, well, that Demi Lovato was victim of some rather heinous acts. And it got me thinking about this whole they-them thing. And what if people are rejecting identity, the identity they have, because it reminds them of a past trauma. Sort of like dissociative identity disorder, but not dissociative identity, because dissociative identity is multiple personalities, essentially. However, they are dissociating with the identity they are born with. And they choose to identify differently due to the problems that their current identity has for them. How their identity, because a woman suffers a very ugly trauma, or even a man for that, where they are abused in such a way that is very shameful to them. So they possibly decide, I can't identify as this anymore because it reminds me too much of what has happened to me. So they decide to change their pronouns, live a different lifestyle, dissociating from what made them what they were in the first place. Instead, not a victim, but what they were before they were a victim. Now, I'm not saying that all people who identify as they, them are victims. I am saying there might be a correlation, though, to it. Some sort of past trauma, or possibly even the fact that it is just a very growing fad, has led so many young people to start identifying as LGBTQIA plus X, Y, Sigma, Tau, Beta, Theta, whatever. And they go with the whole they, them pronouns. But what if they are doing this to reject the identity they are born with because they see the normal binary as a problem? So, yes. Let me get out of that. There is such a thing as known as rejecting identity. People are especially likely to abandon an identity once considered important when that identity becomes socially problematic. Look at how people who are straight white males are being basically persecuted and mistreated simply because, well, they are straight white males. You see the whole LGBTQ community, well, not the whole of them, but many of them going after people who are straight, white, and male simply because they are not of what that group is. When it becomes associated with groups that are low in status, groups that have beliefs that are taboo, or groups that engage in harmful behavior, individuals are likely, and it continues. Well, here's the thing, low status. Well, most of these people consider normalcy to be of a low number nowadays. Groups that have beliefs that are taboo. Well, many of these people are now thinking that to be a straight person or a biologically accepted person, meaning they were born a woman and they identify as a woman, or they're born a man and they identify as a man, or if they're white. I mean, I'm not beating around the bush, folks. I'm telling it to you straight. This stuff happens. that's considered taboo to many of these people. They think that it is an egregious crime, essentially. Groups that engage in harmful behavior to basically reject their premise outright because it does go against thousands of years of proven fact. They consider it harmful because their feelings are too delicate. They are not able to handle the facts that are presented to them, so they reject the normalcy and the identities that they were born with. What if all of this is from or stemming from some sort of trauma from their past? It is an interesting thing to think about, because we have so many good examples. Demi Lovato and Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page, who admitted that she went up to a shack in Canada and beat on herself because multiple voices in her head were telling her that she's trans. Or him, that they are trans. Look at the past traumas that these people have suffered. What if that abuse has made them want to reject their identity, and instead of seeking help, they decide, fuck it, I'm going to be something else? And that is the main problem, the crux of the whole situation. They're not seeking the proper help, so instead they declare that society is different and that they are hostile towards them. They declare that the norms must change to adhere to their feelings, their way of life, and if you don't, you're a bigot. I think that this should be looked at in psychology and psychologists around the world, because looking at it objectively, I see that a lot of these people who are they-thems have had some sort of past trauma. I've talked with a few myself. I'm not going to name them, but they have all had some sort of past trauma, and they reject the norms because it is a reminder of what they went through. And instead of seeking the proper help, they instead just reject the realities outright. That nature and humans are binary. They can't handle that. So instead they come up with this thing. Ever since like 2017, this stuff started becoming the most prominent, and that is what they are doing, so that they don't have to feel like they are part of the problems that led to their trauma in the first place. I think that this does need to be explored further. And I feel that people like Demi Lovato, Ellen, or now Elliot Page, they need to take a long, hard look at themselves and probably get the help that they should have gotten so long ago. Because now, especially in Elliot Page's situation, he, formerly she, cannot go back to what she used to be, which was a she. If that all makes sense. But anyway, folks, I just thought I'd put this video out there, get it, or maybe it's something worth looking into. Because honestly, it's getting to a point where reality is being rejected outright, and it kind of needs to go back. We kind of do need to return to reality. Men cannot be women. Women cannot be men. No matter how much you physically cut yourself up, no matter how many surgeries you go through to try to fit in your mind the image that you yourself see you as. And maybe when we finally go back to that, these people can get the help they so richly need. That is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And yes, I do fully expect to get hate on this. But I am simply looking at it from a perspective that is more psychological. Anyway, Have a wonderful day, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.